everyone, this is Emmanuel Zaviles from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the My Emotion Code Journey, episode 3. And today we're actually going to talk about 10,000 hours of practice, the commitment in anything you do, and the Millennium. So I'm always going to be talking about 3 subjects in regards to My Emotion Code Journey. I live out here in Las Vegas. For those of you who are not familiar with the Emotion Code, it's basically a system to be able to assist people using their subconscious brain and using muscle testing and magnets to be able to bring out the best out of them and to release what they call trapped emotions. So trapped emotions are things that we've received during our lifetime, whether it was when we were born or before we were born, which is interesting, and being able to have a practitioner realize when did the trapped emotion take place, why did it take place, and immediately release it. So instead of going through therapy, instead of going through hurdles of trying to figure out what's wrong with you, and for some reason you just can't go through. Maybe you've read a lot of self-development. Maybe you do your affirmations, you have your vision board, you're doing everything right, but for some reason there's something holding you back. Then this is where the emotion code can take place and be able to help you out to move past your blocks, be able to receive wealth more, receive love more into your life, and also have way better health. So I'm gonna basically get started here. This My Emotion Code series is about me receiving my my certification in the Emotion Code. So I've always wanted to make a video where I'm actually headed to the goal and not at the goal and then telling you about it, because I want to let you know the journey that I'm going through. It's not really easy to learn more about what you're doing wrong with your health, also your mental health, and also getting rid of your trapped emotions simultaneously while you're helping others. So I think it'd be more interesting to see someone in the process of it. So that's why I started this vlog. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. Hopefully you guys appreciate the tips that I teach you guys, because it's not just something that's theory. It's something that I combined with my my business before, and now I'm kind of letting it out through a different industry. So the first thing is this, is practice. So the one thing that while I was watching the webinars for the show, I noticed that Dr. Bradley Nelson had some like reservations, saying, I really wasn't good at this at first. Could this really work for me? And he was talking about self-testing. There's muscle testing where you're pushing on someone's arm, and then he was talking also about his own doing his own test for himself. And I just can't believe that while he was at the seminar, it was about maybe a few hundred people there, that he actually said, I don't know if this is going to work for me. And then he said, but you just have to keep doing it. And he said, I just did it by myself. I said, my name is Bradley. My name is Bob. And like he would get confirmation on it. And then he would say a truth. And then he would say something that's false. And then he would also test himself. And he just did it multiple times a day as he was going about his day. Because it isn't really that hard while you're at work to muscle test yourself real quick using these kind of cufflinks. If you pull on it and it lets go, it means no. If you pull on it and it's strong, it means yes. And he says there's kind of a sweet spot that little by little you start realizing like how much pressure you should put between these 2 fingers. And so I love the book by Malcolm Gladwell. He actually said that in this book called Outliers. He says that in order for someone to become professional in any type of industry, it takes about 10,000 hours. So that's something that I'm trying to be patient with myself as I learn this, because at first I didn't really get this muscle testing either, but I know little by little I'll be able to gain experience and be able to just do it easier, So but you're going to have those doubts where you're like, can I do this? And what I love about it is Dr. Bradley was so open about it and said, I'm having issues too. All right, so number 2 is commitment. And I've used this from my other business that I had before. Excuse the nasally voice. It's just that I have a cold. It is 6:15 in the morning, but I want to get this information out because I really think it's important for those of you who are either thinking about using the emotion code or becoming a certified practitioner. Whoever you are, maybe you just want to learn more about the practice, then I'm going to be sharing tips Monday through Friday. So tips throughout my journey. And I'm going to be recording it on Periscope, and then I'm also going to be making a YouTube video out of it. So the second thing I want to talk about is the word commitment. So whether you're practicing to become a practitioner, whether you're committed to your health, to your success, or you're committed to a business that you own or to a job, I love this statement of commitment because I have to remind myself to stay committed in my journey. So this is my favorite quote. So it goes like this: commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the feeling that you set it in has left you. I'll say it again. So commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the feeling that you set it in has left you. Because the reality is when you say something, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, all of a sudden that feeling is not always there. And Darren Hardy from Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, he said that it really, like 90% of it is just all out drudgery. It's all out mundane and slightly boring. And what we see is we see the tip of the iceberg. We see people that are, Emmanuel's speaking at a seminar, or Oprah Winfrey speaking at a seminar, or look at this, they're on the news, or they're getting interviewed by some famous people. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But 90% of it is taking calls, going to meetings, studying, learning new topics, researching, making calls to sponsors, just doing like that. We don't really see that. So we only see the tip of the iceberg. We're like, well, wouldn't it be great to be Oprah Winfrey? When you don't realize that 90% of you guys would probably stop that journey knowing how hard she works when everyone else is asleep. So I have to keep reminding myself, because, I work from 9 to 5. I need to remind myself that late at night from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. when I'm studying, what the definition of commitment is. And whoever you are, whatever you're doing, just know that that feeling that you set it in is going to leave you. It's not going to be present all the time. You're not going to be excited all the time. It's going to be work. But the treasures of gold will meet you from time to time, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of work. So I'm already putting my mindset to that, so that way I don't get discouraged in my journey. The third thing is the millennium. So the millennium is what I believe, and some Christians believe it, I believe it myself, which is the 1,000 years of peace that's going to come on this earth. And Dr. Bradley Nelson talks about, he doesn't really talk about the millennium, but he talks about apocalyptic times, where he says that when times get really bad, and let's say, there's a type of, the military changes, and they change the way they do things, and for some reason we can't get to a store, for some reason we can't get to a doctor, for some reason, we can't do different things. The reality is you can use the emotion code and body code, because it's just you touching someone, energy healing, and you maybe having a reference book that tells you how to look through people's bodies and see what's going on. And so, you can't get rid of paper. You have paper. If you have a hand, or you have the tactic of having positive thoughts, you can make this happen. You don't need pills. You don't need a doctor anymore. So that's where he's saying, he's like he already sees that one day it is going to get so bad that we won't have access to doctors, we won't have access to pills, we won't have access to these things, and it'll be the job of the emotion code practitioner to stand up and to be able to assist these people who would usually go to a doctor, and then realize that the emotion code is all they needed. So with that, those are my 3 things I want to share. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm actually putting this YouTube video on my Facebook page. If you have any questions, you guys can just message me. I'm a very easygoing guy, and I'm still going through my journey right now. As we speak, I'll even check the date. Today is March 12th, 2016. This is probably my 4th video that I've made. Here's the reality is this is episode 5. So I really feel like I have a lot to offer as far as people who are looking into the emotion code, and so hopefully you guys gain some value from this. I always end my videos like this: is the world has a false notion where I'll take care of you, you take care of me. But we all know here that if we take care of ourselves, we can authentically take care of others. And as we take care of ourselves, we can change our home, we can change our city, we can change our country, we can change the world. So with that, this is Emmanuel signing off. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and feel free to share this video. Also, you can subscribe below, and I'm going to be doing a video Monday through Friday, and just anything that comes up to me that's inspiring or anything that challenges me in my emotion code certification process, I'm going to share it. I'm going to be raw, I'm going to be truthful, and I want to let you know what I'm going through. So with that, I wish you guys the best. Take care.